Are you looking for the premier podcast on mental health? Look no further than Know Your Platform. Empower yourself with the insight provided by two incredibly knowledgeable people. Jeremiah is a certified life coach, Grammy-worthy hip-hop artist, and founder of the top-rated mental health podcast, while David is an esteemed influencer and successful purveyor of important values. With every weekly episode of Know Your Platform, you'll uncover your true worth and gain an illuminated understanding of mental health. And now, from our cozy studios just outside Destin, Florida, here's your hosts, Jeremiah Jacksun and David Lewis III.
What's up, my boy?
Nothing much, brother. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling lovely, man. Welcome to Know Your Platform podcast. I am your host, Jeremiah Jacksun.
And I'm your favorite co-host, David Lewis III.
Get ready to be amazed by our upcoming guest, a true expert in the art of taking risks and turning them into incredible opportunities. Don't miss out on this absolutely enlightening conversation that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated to seize every chance that comes your way. You don't want to miss this.
Real Conversations with Jeremiah Jacksun and David Lewis III starts now.
Hey, yo, you ready to pod?
Yes, sir. Let's
Richard's journey through the call center space is nothing short of awe-inspiring. At the tender age of 27, he relinquished the comfort of his home to train employees for one of the most prominent call centers situated in San Jose, Costa Rica. With his astonishing mix of motivational public speaking and tactful rhetoric, Richard's efforts bore fruit, and he skillfully trained over 10,000 bilingual telemarketers. Richard Blank, ladies and gentlemen, is the epitome of passion and dedication, an iconic leader who has compelled the culture of gamification into the company's framework. That's the Costa Rica call center for you. Stepping into the shoes of the chief executive officer in 2008, Richard's journey only flew higher. With a bachelor's degree in communication in Spanish from the University of Arizona and a language proficiency certificate from the prestigious University of Sevilla, Spain, Richard's accolades were only beginning. He currently is a keynote speaker for Philadelphia's Abington High School and was recently inducted into the 2023 Hall of Fame for Business. Such accomplishments are nothing but only a brief introduction to the life of Richard Blank. Today, Richard is a beacon of hope and an exemplary leader for aspiring businessmen and entrepreneurs. His life is an inspiration for us all to keep pushing and chasing our dreams, no matter the setbacks. All right. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, Richard A. Blank.
Come on, man.
Yeah!
Wow. Man, I'm so glad we finally, we had a chance to rapport, me and you, Richard, and it was a great conversation, and we very excited to have you on to be able to have a compelling discussion.
Oh, man, I cannot wait to share all my secrets today with you and your audience.
Wow.
We cannot wait to hear them.
Right.
Yes.
So Richard, just kind of, we just having a discussion. It's, nothing too serious, we just kind of, give us some background and into what makes Richard A. Blank unique.
Well, my good friend, first, I can't thank you enough for having me here. And secondly,
Absolutely.
my story begins in Northeast Philadelphia. When I graduated the proud Abington High School, I decided to double down on my favorite language, which was Spanish. And went to the University of Arizona and had one of the best times of my life there as well. And at 27 years old, I had a 1 in a million opportunity to move to Costa Rica in August of 2000, and I took it. Wow. I worked at my friend's call center for a couple of years, learned the business from the inside out, and decided to start my own business. And here we are today.
Yes, sir. The fact that you was able to even take the time out to learn those things and then learn your business from the inside out, so you know every aspect of it, so you can better yourself, and then to start your own business, which takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, a lot of people think they need to get paid for everything that they do. I mean, time is money, but sometimes a job which might have average pay could give you incredible experience, something that down the line can make you money. And so given the chance and allowing me to once again see every single department and see how it works. But here's the best part.
Talk to me.
If you're the principal of the school, everyone's quiet when you walk by, but all the students talk. And so by sitting with the agents, I got to learn what people liked and things they didn't like. And I guess it was just about dignity and people just not being expendable, being a number. They just wanted to be someone.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Kind of go into the mental aspect though, Richard, because to start a business, you know, there's a lot of people out here that are a little kind of hesitant about starting a business. Sometimes they do get comfortable in that position that they're familiar with. What does it take to mentally step out and just say, I'm going to try something different?
Well, you got to be like the A-team. You can't do it by yourself all the time. Like, let's say Fritz the cat. You might need a team around you.
Right.
Myself, I needed accountants and attorneys. I needed human resources and IT directors. I needed branches and roots to my trunk of the tree in order for me to expand. You need to be humble.
Wow.
And so I was able to incorporate those things and build a very solid team a foundation. Kind of like what you Dave and Jemiah have on this show and your network. It's about finding the right people, and if you sustain a building with strong bricks, you can sustain relationships the same way.
Wow. That is awesome. And another thing, because I think about, at one point in my life, when I was working jobs, I couldn't even see far out. Sometimes you can't even see what's around the corner. And it's like, for me, it took faith for me to step out and say, okay, how am I going to separate myself? What, imprint do I want to leave on the world? And just hearing and, seeing what you have done, we had a chance to, look at your profile here. I mean, the title CEO, I mean, that sounds like it comes with a ton of responsibility.
Big CEO.
Right.
Well, let me put you this way, my good friend. Anybody that's gotten there would rather you call me Richard than boss or CEO or El Jefe. It's on the same way. And you got to be grounded.
Yes.
You got to be with your people. You can't elevate me with anybody else. I just found momentum and rhythm, and I was able to, I guess, capitalize on that. But you know what it is. It's about positive reinforcement.
Wow.
A lot of people can take the easy way, which means shortcuts or cheating or lying or just doing things that just aren't ethical or, when you feel good about yourself. But the hard way is the dedicated practice. That's why I like to bring up Rocky and boxers, because they train for those rounds and they're accountable and they know what their limits are. And so I'd like to see during chaos someone's true character. And if they can just do first downs for touchdowns, can you at least give me your word to show up on Tuesday? If we can do those things, then I can give you bigger things. We go from there. But everybody's got their own pace. Some people go quicker, like we do from the States, right? But then some people need to cross-culture, integrate, and you see what are their strong points that you can combine with your own, because you can't expect them to be like Philly. And I can't be purely Costa Rican. But together, it's a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's perfect, it tastes good.
Yeah, peanut butter cups do be hitting.
Exactly, they do.
Come on.
Especially during Halloween.
Right.
I mean, getting a handful of them.
Well, Richard, I'm interested also. We're also interested in knowing, did you have any, inspiration to get to this point? Like, were there some people that you looked up to, or like mentors and such?
Like, what pushed you to, like to really like dig deep into, tap into that side of really doing things that people, like really groundbreaking and blazing your own trail?
It just started I guess it was my own balance and self-reliance and self-confidence, because if I'm good, then I can be good with others. So Richard's good. We began there, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, I gave myself some of the greatest friends ever. The ones where you can be vulnerable in front of them. Laugh and cry together, but they're your friends for your entire life. So I got that covered, right?
Yeah.
And then the next stage was education. I wasn't mature during high school. I didn't have the structure and discipline. But I had college recommendation letters from a Spanish teacher and principal of the school.
Wow.
So they paid it forward. They almost really, if you want to know about it, hooked me up.
That was a real hookup.
I don't forget about those things. I don't forget about the person that opened the door for me, gave me my first job or my big break. I mean, that's the one that believed in you when you were raw.
Exactly.
Right? You didn't even have a resume yet. He said, how can I get experience if no one gives me a job? So then I look at you and I go, okay, Billy, maybe a coming of age moment. I mean, you have no resume, fine. But tell me a time you beat up a bully or saved a kitten or possibly did both in one day. So I can see your depth. And if you're that kind of cat, then I'm going to bring you on board and I can mentor you like a squire to a knight, one that doesn't have bad habits yet.
Patience.
And you asked about mentors. Man, I'm 50 years old. I'm the mentor now to these young kids.
Wow. 50 years young, to be
you
exact.
want to talk about some inspirations? I love Templeton Peck from the A-Team, baseman. I like Remington Steele. And then one of my speaking mentors was Basil Rathbone back in the day. He played Sherlock Holmes back in the 30s and 40s. And then another British actor, Jeremy Brett. Why British? Because they speak better than we do.
That's and the boys take all our roles.
I'm not going to pretend I'm British. And I'm definitely going to take their moves. It's James Bond smooth.
Wow. This is amazing.
You remember Eminem in 8 Mile? Remember when he had the guy drop the mic? He didn't do it through swinging. He did it through rhetoric. The greatest thing is when you outwit somebody.
Okay. Oh boy, Pod. Okay,
Mr. Flame, that's awesome. So, public speaking, I see that public speaking is also a part of, who you are as well. Have you always been like the guy that always wanted to be at the forefront, teaching people, and you always been the spotlight kind of guy?
Yes and no. Sometimes I had the spotlight. Sometimes I was just an observer or even a participant in another way.
Wow.
Here's the skinny. You can't really stand in front of the spotlight. You don't want to rob a photo or photo bomb. You have to give everybody their moment.
Wow.
And if they have a moment, be the first to congratulate them as well, because me today, you tomorrow. And so by being mature that way and not having to have it all the time, because that's annoying too. You don't bat 1,000.
Yes.
And so when you do have your moment, it's because, I guess, through default or elimination or just because you're the best at that, it's your time. And it's nice, those sort of moments. But I tell you what, I like to observe people when they acknowledge others. I like people that can accept a compliment. You don't have to be insecure about it. If someone says you look good, sound good, or you roll well and you did something that impresses them, that's excellent. You give a good vibe, and people responded to it naturally, and I guess wanted to say something about it. And I think if you're authentic and sincere about it, you can have a very cool moment with somebody and really connect. And so, me public speaking, maybe I'm witty at the right moment, or I was extremely observant. I can add something that someone didn't think about. Right? Or I can just act like a child and figure what it would be like if you were a 12-year-old in this situation and throw my cards on the table because everyone's being too serious in those meetings. Someone's got to chill. And I don't know, gentlemen, just like you two. Just be a poet of life and realize when it's the time to add your color.
Oh my!
Oh God! Well, you know what?
Poet of life.
Okay. Goodness. Okay, we're gonna take that as a compliment.
Let me stand.
I didn't even look at it like that. We're like poets.
Poets of life.
Poets of life.
Wow.
Right.
Oh,
Wow.
nah, I'm not sitting down, bro. I gotta stand up. That's tough.
That is tough.
Don't you dance and sing? Don't you see things like that? Some people run the cover. I don't run. Who runs? I'll still walk in the rain. Why? Because I can't break my groove, everybody.
Can't break the groove. Can't stop the music, my brother.
Can't stop the rain.
You can't stop the rain.
A little sprinkle doesn't hurt, and people act funny and silly sometimes in the rain.
Got to, man.
What's the difference? I don't even have hair anymore, so it doesn't even mess up my lid.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Just curious, Richard. Like, what kind of music you like to listen to?
Oh, Richard was that jazz.
I go as far back as Billie Holiday.
Ooh.
And I can go something out here on the radio, and I don't know the name, but it's got a good beat. But if you want to know my go-tos, these are the concerts that I saw in Philadelphia at JFK, that stadium, and the Spectrum. I mean, we're talking Pink Floyd and the Dead, The Who and the Stones. If Hendrix were alive, I would have loved that. But I saw Fleetwood Mac and CSN, Tom Petty, Peter Gabriel. But here's the band. My favorite band of all time. I mean, Rush was up there too, but I love In Excess. That's my favorite band of all time. And I was fortunate in July 15th of 97, they played a show at Union Hall in Phoenix, and I paid $100 for a $20 ticket so I could get front row center. And they didn't have security. And they knew I was a loyal fan. And I definitely got a nice high five from Hutch and the crew. And so you try to enjoy those moments too with these incredible artists. I'm an 80s guy. I mean, you know what I love too? You guys like the Miami freestyle, kind of like Don't Stop the Rock and, things like that, the Cover Girls and back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love Cover Girls.
Oh, I used to love those jams back in Mardi Gras on Cotman Avenue in Philly. You know that Dance Party USA was filmed in Philly. So we used to see all those girls that used to drive pink IROC Z's riding up and down the street.
Wow. I've never been to Philadelphia. I'm about to go, man. After talking to you, I was like, we need to go on the first flight shooting out for Philadelphia.
Facts.
It seems like there's a lot of culture in Philadelphia.
Eating a lot of good food.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
I love food.
And Richard, trust me, we love to eat.
I know you guys have done cheesesteaks before, okay? And I know you know your steak.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 really distinctive places in Philly that you can taste different types of the meat. The bread usually is the same as Amoroso or something specific. The cheese has to be whiz, but do whatever you want. But it really depends on some of their, I don't know, each one has a little feel about it, and they're all aces. So if you can do that Philly tour, and you get to do the Rocky Steps and the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall and Delaware Ave, I mean, Philly's rocking. You should spend a week there. You'd have a great time.
Yeah, we've never been to Philly.
I'm about to go to Philly, man.
We actually have a trip planned to go up to Chicago in October. We're supposed to see Wu-Tang and Nas play at the United Center.
Yes, sir.
Where the Bulls play. So that's
nice.
going to be fun. So Richard, like when you have those moments, like I'm sure as a businessman, you've had moments where you thought about quitting. We've had moments like that, and
with this podcast.
This podcast, we felt like, man, this is. So what was it about, what was it for you that was like, you know what, something switched and you said, I'm going to keep going and I'm not stopping?
It's very simple, gentlemen. It depends on how deep your fidelity is. How much, you don't really want to divorce your wife after one argument.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, wow.
Good God, nobody.
Why are you divorcing yourself and playing not even JV league? You're the kind of last pick for kickball kid. I mean, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be You're supposed to be QB1. And I understand your days, and I'm cool with that because it means you still got a heart. But it's hard because of the emotion with it. It's not hard for weakness.
Wow.
And that's actually good because the people that lie to themselves are the ones that crack. But if you can have those moments of timeouts and breathes and talking to your buddies like myself,
Wow.
You're doing the right thing. Yeah.
So business.
It's only natural. Just don't let it happen too long.
Right.
I'll take a rainy Sunday. Don't let it last a week, a month, or a year, if everybody understands. That's right.
Facts.
Right. That's valuable information. People need to hear it listening to this, because a lot of people, you know, like you said, they will divorce their wife after one argument.
You know what, I'm done. I can't do it no more.
You know, metaphorically speaking, as it pertains to like, you know, business and stuff like that.
Stop being so hard on yourself. And who are you judging yourself again?
Wow.
Right? I mean, you can't do that.
Yes.
Very different. And you know what? A lot of people need to forgive themselves for their younger years. Like, imagine.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Right? I'm going to sit down now. Hold on.
You sit back, put the 5 spot on the counter and say, yeah, we're good, and walk out. It's a different man. You were a child then. You didn't know.
Exactly.
We all did. And so I'm not hard on myself for the past or even decisions in the present. It's how I roll, and it's okay because my intentions are honorable and I have good faith.
Wow.
Man, yo, knowledge is just like the way you like articulate it is just so like, it's simple, but it's like
poetic.
Yeah, it's poetic and it's powerful. Like it, like, cause I ain't never really look at it like that, you know, like especially, you know, in today's like culture and, you know, things like that. We go through so much like hardships in life, you know what I mean? Like try to set us back. And when we look at it from a lens of like you were saying, like, you know, like you can't let just one situation kind of derail your whole operations. It really makes sense because everybody has bad days, you know. Like it's not all gonna be sunny skies and tulips, you know. So, you know, with those rainy days, you do have to dance in the rain.
Personal question.
Oh yeah.
When was the last time you gave yourself a wink in the mirror, or you gave yourself a high five?
Yeah.
In the mirror.
Wow.
When was the last time? I try to do it at least once a day.
Oh, talk to me.
Wow.
At least.
Oh, man, I'm start doing that.
Come on, love you. That's what you got to do. Love you.
Talk about.
Remember trunk of tree. Branches and roots of the other people. You got to be the trunk. Really.
Oh my.
And these are simple things. It's just maturity. It's impulse control. It's breathing at times. It's giving yourself luxury of time. Can you write a draft and not send it? Can you sleep on it? Can you take a walk on it before answering? Don't pop and explode. That doesn't work. You regret it. It's messy. You know, you've regretted it before. So it's given the luxury of time. Try to take a time out. You can maybe regroup. Wow. It helps.
Wow. That's so good. I mean, you talking to me right now. Because, you know, there are times I want to just punt, you know, you want to clock out, you know, that's just being honest, Richard. But hearing this is like, it feels really good to hear like a different perspective on it that you can take, and then, you know, you can apply that to your life. And I think a lot of people listening right now, they can apply that to their lives. And man, you're just a great example, Richard. This is amazing.
The price you pay. It's not storybook. Not every day is sunshine, as you said earlier. And so I kind of accept, as I mentioned, the rain. And if I can dance in it, it's almost like the small problems. I can fall on that sword. It's not going to hurt me.
Wow. Figuring out how to dance in the rain.
Dance in the rain. And you said something earlier that like really stuck out to me when it came to like leadership. When you're talking about how you like wanted to make the people feel like people are not numbers. And I feel like that's a really big thing, like especially nowadays when you work for these different companies and, you know, these different like corporations, that they just look at you as a number, you know what I mean? And not as an actual person. So for you to have that intuition to understand that, you know, if I have these people understand that they're people and I care about the person, then it's like everything else will come, the respect will come, and it's easy to lead people that want to be, you know, want to be led and feel appreciated. You know, I thought that was amazing. You
know, it's funny. If I told you that you had a better chance of making $1 million by treating your people like that versus the bells and the whistles.
Yes.
I'll give you the greatest example because I love image streaming. I love visuals, right?
Possibly. Right.
The greatest class was when your teacher took you outside and spoke about it in the cloud, on the grass, under a tree. That was awesome. You know, actually, the best class ever, we all know it, is when they bought a TV and VCR and you didn't have a test that day. Right. Anyway, but the thing is, though, when you switch up an environment, you don't need bells and whistles. That's why some of the greatest experiences are just walks in nature. Wow. That's why I don't want to depend on technology. I'd rather depend on what's around me naturally. And if I can be in the now and figure out that sitting under a tree is much more effective than in a lecture hall, you might get that one in a million experience. Because I might say, gentlemen, did a teacher ever take you outside to do a class? Yeah, I remember Richie Blank did it one time. So I want to be that one time, right? And I didn't break the rules. They had probably one of the best classes ever. Give them a quiz. They'll remember everything. It was just in such a fun environment that it enhanced the stimulation. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I have a game room. That's why I collect pinball machines. I have media. I have environments in which it's neutral, where people can absorb, they can relate, let off steam, they charge batteries. They have an air hockey table. They can compete against the boss or supervisors or other people. It's a great chance to laugh. It's almost like when Tigers play.
Wow.
You need that a little bit. And that's healthy for a synergy environment.
Wow. What it sounds like is, you got me stuttering right now. This is amazing. I just had to get up off the floor because what you just said had me on. It just had me floored, literally. So
that's my secret sauce. I can't compete against Amazons or guys that have deeper pockets and 50 supervisors. Who cares? I'm like Conan. I can figure it out. And as long as I'm still strong and I have people behind me, I'm cool. It's okay. And I've made peace with that as well. As I mentioned, if you can do your 50 push-ups, that's your push-ups. You can't compete with those that do more or do less. Just really, once again, it's all about your circle and yourself.
I love that. And speaking about just, competing with others, do you have a competitive niche, or are you just really just in competition with just improving? Do you ever have those moments where you feel like you're measuring yourself up against the next?
I'll share a great philosophy with you. What a brilliant question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Favorite host with the most.
You have three types of people out there. You have those that are too aggressive. They get what they want, but they're also annoying, and they could be a one-shot deal, right? You just never want to talk to them again. And then you have people that are passive. So they missed their mark. They missed their chance. It's a what-if story 20 years down the line. I like to be assertive. Assertive. Oh, yeah. It's diplomatic. It's strategic. It's waiting for your time.
Wow.
It's taking turns. It's learning your protocol to know when I can join your flow. I mean, it's really your party. I'm almost crashing it. But then again, at the end, strangers are friends you haven't met. I'll be more of a welcome guest as I leave. And it's good. And so as long as you take that sort of attitude where you ask new questions, open-ended questions, and then I pay attention, and I repeat things and clarify things, and I start stacking things. Friends are people that remember things about you. Tell you what, gentlemen, when I'm on a phone call, and we hear dogs barking in the background, right, that's usually when my agents are able to anchor the most. They say they love dogs. What's your breed? And how old is your puppy? You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's another 5-minute conversation. It's something we have in common, so it loosens the tie, and people can get real for a minute. I'm not on the script asking you qualification questions.
Right.
We can share things.
Right.
And as long as you can anchor with people, and that's why you should be exceptionally observant on these Zoom calls, what's in the background, not just family pictures that could be considered pride, but it's always that football in behind you. Did you get it, win it, or whatever There's other things that you're exceptionally proud of. And so you just wait for that moment to see when you tell about your examples, and then using their example and your example to show that you are in the moment. And people appreciate that. They find you astute. They say, man, you're saying that you like my background. Of course I do. You're very interested. I gave you the luxury to see this. You're going to use it. There's too many clues that are right in front of you. And that's why when people do this micro-expression reading, yeah, sure, it's writing phrases in the book, but for the novice, it's someone that's just meeting someone for the first time, you should really look into, once again, what people are most proud of. Especially LinkedIn profiles and websites take a look if they're wearing a tie, a jacket, and they just doing a collared shirt, or they just chilling. And then it can kind of readjust the tone of something like that. And I like positive reinforcement and also positive escalations, to where a secretary, I can mention that they were helpful. I can do it in writing, and I can speak with someone. So it's really giving you momentum after they give you a pass to pitch. And you'll be calling that company back. They'll remember my name. And they'll say, thank you, Richard, for complimenting me to Mr. Jones. In 10 years, no one said that. I go, yeah, no problem, Kathy. You were excellent. And then all of a sudden they tell you more about the company culture. And guys, these are things that happen naturally.
Yes.
We're not forcing hands. And we're not doing things that are, I guess, edging our way in there that's uncomfortable, like you might see in Hollywood. If people want to do these things correctly, then make real relationships with people and have the manners you were brought up with by your parents and grandparents, and you should be very successful in business.
Wow.
I must say, it feels like we're in a master class.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just, you're the teacher. We're just sitting back taking notes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. So we did hear.
Well, if it makes sense, it means we're at the same level. That's why it's great. You just caught up to me.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So we did hear a dog in the background. So what kind of dog do you have? What kind of dogs do you like?
Well, you'll laugh about her name. I named her after two amazing cartoon characters. Her name is Scrappy Doo Magoo.
Okay.
Right? After Scrappy Doo, because she's tiny, she's a little Maltese that has the biggest heart. She's like 0 for 12. She can't fight. She talks more smack.
Yeah,
I don't know where she got that from.
Right.
That's my wife's side of the family. No, I'm kidding. And then the second thing is Mr. Magoo, because sometimes she's aloof to what's going on, which is fine too. Like it's fun.
Right.
So yeah, she's cool. Scotty's all right.
Wow. Yeah, David has a dog too. What kind of dog you have, David?
She's a border collie Labrador mix. So she's all over the house, like running, the zoomies. She be catching the zoomies and just taking off, barking at everything. Like that's my girl, but sometimes she drives us insane.
If they make a cameo for 30 seconds to a minute, everyone loves it. It's cute, right? And it's as I mentioned, something to talk about, right? Then you put the puppy outside.
Yeah.
But it's always been a good intro for us to go outside of the sale,
Yes. It does humble you too, like especially when you take care of like an animal like that, like a dog. It like makes you really enjoy like the small things in life, like the walks, and like the scenery, like nature, like you said earlier. Like it really has you slow down and take everything in, and just really enjoy the world. It's amazing.
This is awesome, man. Wow, this is amazing. So, Richard, kind of talk about your affiliation to Abington High School. We also see that you were inducted into the 2023 Hall of Fame in Business. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, man.
Excuse my ignorance. I didn't even know there was a such thing as a Hall of Fame in Business.
Me either.
So to even see that,
that's amazing, man.
And wow, that's amazing.
All right, this is the thing, and I think you guys will understand and respect this. Northeast Philly High School getting into a Hall of Fame. What? That to me is one of the greatest accomplishments of my life, because it's old school stamp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got one.
Let's go!
You earned it.
Yeah, 91 is when I graduated. I still got a stamp after all this time. Yeah. So, I'll take the honor. I'll take the compliment. I want to make them proud. I do a second language scholarship every year for a senior. That really, like myself, I learned Spanish. Someone that is not born into a language and literally learns a second language and has that momentum up into their books freshman year. And but yeah, man, I went back for 2 weeks. Stayed in a big house in Willow Grove. I was with all of my friends, and Principal Barrios is my boy, and the superintendent was there, Dr. Fontran. So it was great. It was gave a speech. And It was humbling. It's kind of funny. There are certain graduates your audience may have heard of. Stephen Schwartzman of Blackstone and Ashton Carter, Secretary of Defense, right? And also we have Eddie George, the Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, yeah.
Both the guy who did the earphones, and also Sean Wooden was here, who was Notre Dame and beat Georgia Tech in that game, and also played for the Dolphins in Chicago.
Yep.
And Bob Saget, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Bob Saget?
And you know who else was at Addington's dad? Michael Buffer.
Whoa.
Ready to rumble.
Bruh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So being a part and my name on the wall with these guys, all right.
That's a
You gotta
blessing.
be kidding me. And but as I said, I was an honor roll. I wasn't that cat. I was just, trial letterman. But I paid forward, man. If I didn't get that recommendation letter, that you look back on your big breaks, and that was one of the biggest breaks I ever got, was getting me into college from high school. They were my friends. I had some Abington. We were very united.
Okay.
Our whole class would hang. I threw some very big parties at my house on Fair Acres Road.
Wow.
And I had parents that used to travel every weekend. And so the house would be cleaner on a Sunday night than it was on a Friday. Why does it smell like pine saw in the basement? Pine saw. I said, what kind of stuff do they use? I got to change my what's it called?
Right.
The detergent. But no, I changed things up. I made sure that I was trying to create an environment for people to get together.
Wow.
And to make memories and spend time. And it built my character, because these people were good in athletics and academics and just really showed true loyal friendship at an exceptionally young age. And that's, I hold that stuff sacred. I find that if you can't have friends for decades,
wow,
it takes work. You have to keep up with families. You have to make phone calls. And a lot of friends are there just because they care. And those are my favorite friends.
That's
ones that don't really ask for anything, just for some time and just to see how you're doing.
It's a blessing.
Right? And I got those. And so by going back there, I guess it made my circle complete. And I appreciate you guys bringing that up, because it was a wonderful experience.
Question: how important is reputation to you and just in general?
You're going to get some haters out there that are going to make some things up about you.
Facts.
Or they think your decision is not the right one. Well, listen, Billy, you're not coming to work like 4 days a week. I got to let you go. You're the worst boss. I guess I am. You have to make certain decisions. And as I say, my attrition is when people leave because of a scheduling conflict, a girlfriend works somewhere close to the home, I don't know. But they'll never get the walk of shame.
Wow.
But how's my reputation? It's the kind of thing where I can sleep well at night, where I don't have to look over my shoulder. And if somebody does happen to hear something, or somebody says in passing, maybe they'll give me the benefit of the doubt, and with their own experience with me, from that point of view, they can make a decision on really who I am.
Wow. Because
I've heard people talk about other people before, and I go, wait a second, I know this guy.
Right.
Shows up on time, makes his calls, great guy. So I give people, once again, from my point of view, the benefit of the doubt.
Wow, that's amazing. And I had a question for you. We just picking your brain at this point, because this is, like I said, I'm a student right now.
Right.
What would be like your advice to like an up and coming entrepreneur? Like, what would be your advice to like how he should start, or he or she how they should start, the mindset they should have? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially nowadays, they want to get like right then and there. It's a process to get to that point. So like, what would be your advice to give that person?
Unless they did what I did and go through the ranks, know the business. I had that sort of momentum. I was on third base in a sense. I just didn't have the capital or the business yet. But do your due diligence. And the best answer is my own story. I have to give it that way. Started out of my house. Well, once again, I knew the business, but I started out of my house. Put up a website in October, and in February 6th of 2008 is when I landed my first account. It was one seat for 50 hours. It wasn't even full time.
Wow.
What do? It's 1 week. What am I supposed to do? Well, in my industry, I was able to rent a turnkey station ready to go, internet, headphones, which still work, at a blended call center, which is a little bit fancier than just an internet cafe, right? It does have a big server room, IT support. It's just not my people. I'm just renting a station, and I'm paying top dollar for it. But guess what? I could pay the individual, pay the taxes, pay the overhead, and make a margin. And I said, okay, I just made some money. I go, let's see if we can do this again. And fortunately, it was growing from there, but I had to start with renting a turnkey station and paying premium for it, because if I had to reduce staff or something, I didn't have that huge overhead. But it was great. I could do it and grow that way. Did that for 2.5 years. Built up enough capital and had enough clients under my belt that were stable to go out and rent space. And then I built 150 stations at this center, and I did the server room and all the stuff. But I got the equipment mostly secondhand. There's 80% import tax in Costa Rica.
Wow.
And there's a lot of turnover at call centers, and, cars and even computers. You can get some value and mileage out of them. And so we were very selective, but we were able to do it for a fraction of the cost. And I could scale accordingly. And then I did that for 6 years. And then I was busting out of those scenes, and I wanted to have my own space. And so we've been in the location for 6 years. I built out a center for 300 seats. Well, currently it's 150 because we did take a dip from COVID.
Right.
But you're going like the tortoise, not the hare. You're going slowly. You're accumulating. You're getting stability.
Wow.
You're paying for someone else's larger risk. Their server room, their stuff, I'm just paying premium for it. Like flying. Imagine traveling the world. You're just not going to buy your own jet yet. Not yet. Like I did.
Right.
I had to rent a seat. Right. Wow. And then eventually I got my own jet.
Oh my God.
Talk to me.
Well, no, look at it like this. You start with the seat, and then you get first class seat, and then you fly private, and then you get your own. Think about it.
Wow. Steps.
So that's just the stages of a business. And I had to go heavy on those premium seats.
Wow.
And sometimes I had to pay a first class twice, and you got an economy seat. I was like, what do you want to do? I got to get there. Okay, exactly. I'll shut up and sit there.
Wow.
Let that breathe, ladies and gentlemen.
Sometimes people have leverage over you.
Right.
I didn't want that guy throwing me out on a Wednesday. I don't want to piss off this guy. But then again, there was a little bit of advantage taking. And you know where the advantage taking was? When I started growing, you didn't make the amenities that much better. Yeah, I brought in the foosball table and a sofa and stuff, but you could have upped it a little bit. Maybe a plant or two. Yeah. I don't know. But it just seemed like there was no sort of growth with me in regards to comfort when I showed such dedication and I brought in a ton of money. You sometimes need to put a little skin in the game. What, donut? Nice donut. No, a little more than that. Just show a little bit back.
Wow.
Make less money. You're still making a ton. Make 80 cents, not $1. Put a little back in. And you'll see that the people that are there are appreciative, and the people like me might have stayed there if we grew together instead of making other decisions. So look what they lost. I'm glad that happened.
Right.
And those are some of the lessons you have to learn. And so that's my story, gentlemen. But I think people should be very conservative with their money in the beginning and not just put everything on Black 4, which is my favorite in roulette. And it definitely does hit.
I'm thinking I want to go in the direction of when you're looking for the right employee. What do you have any examples with the company of what a superstar employee looks like?
Oh, yeah. Kind of like earlier when people have to give me their coming of age moment. People give perfect resumes, but naturally we're looking for people with 85% or above English in regards to grammar, vocabulary, and accents.
Wow.
If they have work history, are they a jumper? What do they do? And I'm like, that's great. But what happens if you invest 2 weeks training them and they don't come back, or they're not happy, or they become drama? I need someone to be reliable and consistent. not just for me. It's not my account. It's my client's account. We work with clients in the United States. I don't have individual salesmen making calls for my company. And so if they miss a day, it makes less money for my client and for my company, makes the account one less day unstable because of this cat, and the fee unstable. And then you were asking earlier about my reputation. Well, what happens to this guy that showed me everything? So I hired him. He was perfect.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they become a fading flower. So I have to use their labor laws. I have to let them know my discretion that they are breaking these labor laws and they could be let go. And that's when they start throwing personal things at you. Well, if it's a personal thing, bring a doctor's note. If you really have an issue with your wife, you have to let us know. I mean, these are things you extend empathy, but then again, we all can't go down. And I hired you to win.
Not
3 days this week.
Wow.
And so you might need to have a real meeting with somebody. But you know what I do? But I do it. I will give them an extremely heavy dose of Philadelphia guilt. I go, David, you're mild. Did I do something wrong? Oh, no, let you know it wasn't you. What did I do in order for us to be having this conversation right now? I remember last week, guys, when I said, you got 44. I'm so proud of you. I just didn't call you ace or champ. I specifically told you what you did and the score you did. And I told you I listened to the Mrs. Jones call.
Yes.
Right.
I'm a real boss. I'm just not playing stuff.
Wow.
And so I want to call you out on Wednesday when we had coffee in my office, cookies. I have an asteroids machine, so we played some asteroids. And now I got your Maya and David calling me because you're not coming to work, Billy. What's going on? We got to grow this podcast. We need guys on the phone answering when the calls are coming.
Right. Okay, that's right. That's exactly right.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome. So,
And then I make the same.
right.
And I sit back and listen.
Wow. So I'm thinking too, like, last time we talked about this collection of pinball machines you have.
Oh, man. Oh, you pinball king?
He's the pinball king.
The pinball master?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the pinball king.
Oh, talk to me.
Right.
Let me see if I can turn them on real quick. I know you can't see them, but listen, if you can hear them. Hold on.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys getting an exclusive right now.
Ready? Okay, let me plug you in.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And get you going.
Right. Fast.
Ready?
Oh, you ain't
You hear
playing.
that? Now here's the NBA test. Right.
Oh, you ain't playing.
Wow.
Pinball marathon.
Pinball marathon.
You guys have to hear that?
Yes, we did hear the sounds.
Dude,
That is
that's
amazing.
wild.
And these are like very antique pinball machines. Yes.
My oldest is a 1976 Bally's Freedom.
Oh, my.
And the newest one of those is that mid-90s Last Action Hero Schwarzenegger.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I can't take...
These are not easy to come by.
Facts.
And I know these are not just, affordable, that easily affordable. So
Ain't no buy one, get one.
ain't no buy one, get ones. Ain't no clearance. Ain't no BOGOs on these.
You two are so funny. First is everyone needs to severely calm down. You need to do treasure hunting. That's why if you're buying from the guy on eBay for $8,500 for the Star Wars pinball machine, no way. There's always that guy. And that guy always needed the mechanic. So go to your local arcade.
Okay.
You'll see Travis that's working on the machine, right? You walk up to him in between smoke breaks.
Oh, Travis.
Go get Travis. I know you're moonlighting. Who you fixing and who's selling? He goes, man, I got 10 people that want to get rid of those machines. One guy says, if you just come with a truck, you can take it. Are you kidding? You have to understand something. These machines have easy fixable parts that you can get from like Marco's Specialties and these other stores. And even like an LED screen could be a couple $100. And these electricians, for a twist here and a circuit there, can take a $2, $4, $6, or even $1,000 machine and turn them into a $5,000. And you just take some Wildcat 125 to the surface. Make sure the marquee looks good. And it's just TLC. And people are just looking to give them away because one bumper doesn't work or a flipper. Really? Because of the flipper? That's just a resort day.
Right.
Let's not tell them that. Let's keep telling all the lights that don't work.
Right.
It's so simple. And it's unbelievable, right? Especially if you know something. It's as simple as a twist. Do you remember the old Nintendo? All you have to do is blow on the cartridge. So you're giving the cartridge for $2 because it doesn't work. This is great.
Right.
So you just got to figure those things out.
With the scholarships that you're able to give out, to these kids, I know that has to be amazing. That has to be an amazing feeling to know that.
And shout out to you for that, man.
Yeah,
that's a blessing, man.
Absolutely, you're definitely a blessing to these kids. How does that make you feel?
It was interesting. I don't know where that came from, but you know where it came from? So I went back to visit during one of my reunions. And I just wanted to walk in the hallways, and I met the principal for the first time, as I mentioned, a good friend of mine, and it just kind of came up because of my passion.
Wow.
I get excited, as you can see, on this podcast. There's certain topics where I get elevated. And so all I'm saying was I was just building such character back then. And learning that second language was cool, because I was the only one of my friends who could do it. I felt James was Bondish. And the Latino girls were cool. So I had extra game. I had every game and any game. Why? Anything you say in their language was just awesome.
Yeah.
Everything. So it wasn't like you having to think of a smooth line. I am the smooth line. I'm just practicing last week's class.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do this for 3 hours, will we? Why do you think my grades were so good? What are you talking about? All the world's a stage.
That's a
and
fact.
I married a Costa Rican Central American tropical princess. I need my Spanishes now. Oh, it's great. It's like Charo. You remember?
Right.
Oh, it was great.
So how was life for you in Costa Rica? Like that transition from Philly to Costa Rica, like what's any differences that you notice right away, or what's really doing it for you in Costa Rica these days?
Well, the number one rule is realizing you're a guest in this country and have patience. Learning Spanish definitely gave me an advantage in regards to defense and offense. Sometimes I don't like to share the fact that sometimes I say, no speako españolo, like I'm a super idiot. And then let's just see what they say. I only do this under special occasions, and I got to put down the plan. But I'd like to see. But most of the time, it really is, I get a second plate of food, I get an invitation to someone's home. I've been able to open more doors and have more experience through that Spanish. But it's a beautiful culture. They have a expression here, which is tour vida, which is pure life. So there's tourism, there's waterfalls and surfing and volcanoes and butterflies and plants and birds, and it's just you're living in a painting. It's incredible, and the people are nice here. They're kind. It's a fun culture, the Costa Rica.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard Costa Rica is like one of the top 5 happiest places to be. Like, people are just very happy, and it's really not too many quarrels. So,
it's funny you say that. There's a lot of people here that are not born in Costa Rica, like myself, Europeans and, East Asia and Europe. And it is happy because for a good reason, we're not bringing baggage with us. Some people come here to lose themselves, find themselves, shed a skin, do everything. I don't know. People leave their tattoos at Pura Vida because they're so inspired. But my suggestion for people when they're here, besides taking photographs, is to literally put that phone down and just really enjoy as much as you can of the natural rainforest and the beauty that's around you.
Right.
And soak up that sort of experience. That that sort of meditation, decompression, where you can expand your mind because it's not bombarded with this nonsense that we do every day. You might come up with some of the best ideas of your life. Maybe an idea to change your life for the better. Hopefully that happens.
Right. Sounds like when your life is simplified and you're not having too many distractions, you know, it allows you to expand and think of new possibilities.
You want to hear a good philosophy? Your best friend can sit next to you for 3 hours and not say a single word. And it's probably the best time you could be spending next to that person.
Wow.
So, my thoughts are that you don't need to push things. As I mentioned, there's a new way philosophy, letting the natural things happen. And positive reinforcements here and listening and learning. It's nice steps. Nice checkpoint. You can win in that way.
Wow. Richard, dude, this has been a phenomenal conversation. And of course, everyone is, that are listening, they're going to take this and really be able to apply this in real time. The state of the world and where it's at, mental health, people trying to figure out which direction they should take in their lives. Do you have any advice for everyone that's listening right now to just go out there and get it, as if, because everything you said should be inspiring enough, but sometimes people need to feel like the message is geared to them. They want, sometimes people really need to have the message catered to them specifically, as opposed to, general messages. So if you can get personal with the person that's listening right now, what would you tell them to kind of get them uprooted in the right direction and to use that as momentum going forward?
I'm going to have to make it a supreme pizza. I can't give you one. You said it's got to be specific. Well, I'm gonna carpet bomb this thing. I think the first point is someone should make a bed for themselves. You have to. I don't know why. I'm superstitious. It begins and ends your day. It's respect. Whatever. Just make your bed. That's number one. And then if you're capable and you have the time physiologically, you should work out, because it gets a lot of stress out. You get big. Remember, more plates, more dates. Come on, guys. You know the rule. And you got to get out there, and you got to find, once again, your time. It's a lot of me time that I keep talking about. And, you might want to, the naysayers and the gray believers, they love you and they care about you. Their N-O means they don't K-N-O-W what you're doing. So take your time, slice and dice.
Okay, hold on. Richard, please, okay.
You said your N-O, don't K-N-O.
Please say that. Okay, because we have to get up out of seats. Please say that again.
Right.
Please say the N-O doesn't know. Please repeat that again.
Oh, my God.
Those naysayers. The Debbie Downers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the bots.
The negative Nancy's.
Right,
bots.
The bots.
They love you, but their N-O means they don't K-N-O-W. Enough about your game and what you're doing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Spoon feed it to them like breaths, bites, and drinks. Information needs to be spoon fed to be chewed and digested. You don't do too much. Do it a little at a time, okay? And then maybe you might make some ground. So instead of 90%, 10%, their defense gets reduced and you gain ground. Can't expect to hit a Tyson knockout shot. But the Debbie Downers, negative Nancy's, it's usually, it could be family or best friends or someone that's envious or just someone close to you where their opinion matters.
Right.
So you have to decide, do you want to live their life or your life? And in my case, I decided to get past parent guilt and be a little selfish. And I didn't go into a family business. I decided at 27 to leave the country and try to leave my own castle, slay a dragon, and save a princess. I wanted to be my own prince. I could have always come home. And fortunately, my family, I had the opportunities, which is great. But I don't know if I could have ever looked at myself in the mirror and, as I told you, wink and high-five myself if I wasn't pure and raw. So that's there, too. I think people need to be very bold in life. Fortune favors the brave is, I believe, a Marine expression, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. If you don't have the confidence to be assertive and to do something in life, you never meet the woman of your dreams, get the account that you want. You might not be at the right place at the right time. And sometimes your stars are aligned. Accept it. Sometimes the wind is in your back. That's wonderful. It might be just right out in front of you. Then by all means, take a big bite and ask for extra cheese.
Wow.
And be very grateful of these 1 in a million opportunities that cross your path, because it doesn't happen every day. I like what you read, but it does happen. And if you're willing to hold on for dear life and go on that ride, then take it and drink your life and see where it goes. And then you're on a podcast with your buddies, your mind David telling tall tales and having a great time. And that's where you should be. That's what you should aspire to. But you should always, once again, leave that castle in order to slay that dragon. A forced march is difficult for people sometimes, but you need to do it in order to succeed.
Wow. This has been a phenomenal conversation, Richard. We're truly inspired, truly grateful,
honored
for your presence gracing the airwaves, not just for us, but for the thousands out there that entrust us with delivering, positive messages. And, I'm so happy about this moment. It's got me glitching right now. I'm on this stuttering and fumbling my words, but, I'm pretty sure people want to know.
Hey, I'm not selling a thing. I have a call center and everything. That's one of my, things to talk about. But it was a seminar, a book. I'm not forcing someone's hand. It's just 3 buddies hanging out on a Sunday, having some fun and sharing ideas. And that should inspire your audience that people are willing to do this, non-commissioned. So there's no pressure. It's 100% naturally made.
Yes.
And that's a wonderful thing. And if people can keep doing that almost every day, then it adds up. It's a good thing for people.
Wow. How can people follow your journey even more, Richard Blank?
Well, buy first-class plane ticket and come down and visit me in Costa Rica.
Facts. We'll be
on the first flight.
You let us know, Richard. We are out of here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right. God, ladies and gentlemen, might not be an episode next week.
So it might not be an episode next week. We might be in Costa Rica.
Listen, make it a +1 or a +20. I'm sure a lot of your friends want to come.
Okay. Wow.
But you're amazing audience. If they don't have the time, they can always go to my Facebook fan page. We've got about 116,000 local Costa Ricans there, and it'll give your entrepreneur audience a really good grasp of the business outsourcing industry in Central America. Now, just for your audience, we're north of Panama, south of Nicaragua. Costa Rica is the only democratic society in Central America. There's no standing army here, so they put all the money back into education. Actually, there's a 95% literacy rate, neutral English accent. Companies such as Amazon, HP, Intel, and Oracle are here. So it's great. The infrastructure and resources. So I feel very comfortable being here. And, gentlemen,
wow.
I can't thank you enough. What a fun way to spend a Sunday.
Thanks.
This has been a esteemed honor to do this. Thanks. And, I'm pretty sure we're going to be continuously in touch after this. We feel like we've made a friend, and we feel like that with all of our guests. We're all in this together. We're all, trying to figure out, the way of life. And we thank you so much for coming on. And we're going to leave every single way that we can get in contact, that you guys can get in contact with Richard A. Blank.
Yes, sir.
In the description. We're going to leave all the social media handles there for you guys to check out. And guys, thank you so much, Richard Blank, for coming on. And,
thank you, man. Thank you.
This has been a very compelling discussion. It's been a very chill discussion, Really appreciate this.
Me too. You guys brought the best out of me. And you mentioned there's thousands of your fans out there that you've never met, never wrote in, but listen. And, they feel like your friend after so many episodes. They feel like they know you. It's just a matter of time before you cross their path.
Wow. This has been awesome, man. Well, we wish you a fantastic day ahead,
yes,
Richard Blank. Thank you so much again.
Gentlemen, have a great evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, brother. Listen, wow. What an amazing discussion, y'all.
Wow.
Talk about being bold, being
humbled,
assertive, taking a chance,
informative.
All of these things. Wow. All of these things are things necessary, needed. I encourage everyone right now to follow Richard Blank's story.
Please,
because
man.
This is amazing.
Inspiring.
Richard Blank's doing amazing things.
Yes.
What an incredible human being. Someone who knows who he is, but he's not confined to the titles and the achievements and the accolades. A person that really enjoys, the simple things in life. Is a person who has dug deep within to find out who his true self is. Wow. Very inspiring. We really appreciate Richard A. Blank coming on to the show. And with that being said, we're going to close out with a prayer. David, what I'm saying? Go ahead and lead us out, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Lord, just thank you for allowing us to come together one more time. Thank you allowing us to see another day. Keeping us safely over the highways and the byways of us doing the things we need to do today. I just thank you for this conversation we're able to have. And thank you for bringing people into our lives, Lord, who are just inspirations and just great human beings and great people. We just thank you for Richard. Thank you for his life and his advice and the scope of life that he looks at through his lenses. We just thank you for, giving us the opportunity. We just thank you for just continuing to show yourself stronger and stronger in our lives. And we just give you all the praise and glory and honor, Lord. And we just are humble. And just thank you for everybody who is listening. We just love them, appreciate them. And we just give you all the praise, glory, and honor for them. And I pray that somebody was inspired that we were inspired. And all these things I pray. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Love you, brother.
Yes, sir. Love you too, my brother.
Revamp your life with Jeremiah Jacksun and David Lewis III. Make an incredible pilgrimage with these two influential figures and see the positive changes it can bring to your life. Gain an understanding of what it truly means to know your platform by tuning in to our podcast each week. If you would like to be a guest on our show, make sure to check out knowyourplatformpodcast.com and follow the easy steps to get signed up. Stay in the loop by turning on your post notifications and make sure to tune in next week. Until then, see you on the flip side.